Got it. Welcome back to Tiger's Garage. Last week we lowered the front of Stinkbug, my 1950 Chevrolet pickup. It looks amazing, exactly like I had it in my head for phase one. The problem is we ran out of time to do the rear, and I cannot have it stink bugging around town like that. It's got this mean rake that is not the look we're going for, so today we're going to try to change it. To be honest with you, the rear of this project I think might be more complicated than the front for a couple reasons that are due to just the way GM built this and the fact that we have a 3/4 ton. The first and biggest one is, you've probably already noticed, we are spring over axle because we're a 3/4 ton. A couple other things that make me nervous about back here is that it has obviously been modified a bit. I cut this a long time ago, but this is some weird homemade helper spring setup that they got. And I can see that this second leaf here is already broken actually in two places. The plan is we need to get as much out of it as we can without totally collapsing the spring. Here's what we're gonna do. I have another pair of the same tires that we're gonna do in the rear. That's gonna get us 1.5 inches, which is gonna help tremendously. After that, we're gonna thin that leaf pack a little bit and get it to sag a little more and sit down. Now, I'm pretty worried about that because this bed is like 3/16 plate and super heavy, and I'm wondering if that's why they had the overload springs in it to start with. I don't have new leaf springs. We're gonna make what we have work, but I do have from LMC in my box brand new U-bolts because those look frightening and they've been welded on with that overload thing. Wait till I show you the shock mount situation. That's also custom under there, I realized. I want to disassemble as little as possible, so I'm thinking I might leave the driveline connected and leave these e-brake cables connected, even though they are actually attached to nothing. Take the shocks, take the brake line, put a jack under the pumpkin and try to get the U-bolts loose and just lower it down so it could set on the ground. Because I'm not really doing much with this. All the work is going to be done to the spring pack. I didn't buy shocks because these have a weird like farmer extension. What is that? This is some, oh God, it's another, did they use like lug nuts as spacers? I'll tell you what, this rear setup has been farmer hacked together. This looks like a 7/16 acorn lug nut with a bolt through it. That's exactly what it is a lug nut. Got the shock mount out, lower only, and I only had to use cutoff wheel, Sawzall, and the air hammer for the very first bolt we touched. So I'm gonna disconnect the brake line on this side. We're gonna go fight with the shock on the other side. Then I think that's it as far as stuff that's gonna hang it up. And we will attack the U-bolts with as much fury as we need to get them out. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm impressed so far. I'm gonna take a few on the other side, and then I'm going to position myself where I'm not having my arms or face under this thing, because I bet this is an Eaton HO52 rear axle. Okay, it was the 8-lug full floater before the 14-bolt. It is a good old school cast iron American pig of a rear end, and I don't want it falling anywhere near me. I think it'd crack the floor if it fell off the jack. That's what I was afraid of. The jack's coming down and the rear end's not moving. All right, I got a couple stands in there. There's a gap, so it'll fall a little bit and scare us just enough. Those U-bolts are super rusted together, rusted the spring, I don't really know. The tops are also welded together because of that dumb overload. There's not a bunch of clearance in that bottom bracket, so they're gonna have to come up evenly, and it's just not gonna happen. So I'm cutting them. There it goes. Got it. We're gonna need that, but we don't need it necessarily right now. Okay, where the broken leaves are at, I think is probably gonna dictate which ones we take out. I know on this side, the second one is broken, which is a super bummer because it's long and it supports the main leaf with the spring eye in it. So I got most of this free, and I went to loosen this and it broke because obviously it did. That's what they do. That's why I had this clamp on there. Now it's real tight. So I'm going to slowly take the pressure off. I expect these leaves to kind of unstack and fall. We're going to build our new leaf pack. We're going to drive this pin out if we can. Okay, there's the pin and the lower leaf pack. I had to cut that last little clamp apart, and the moment she let go, everything came tumbling down, which is actually fine. Each leaf is obviously going to get us the thickness of the leaf, which is like, what, 1/4 inch? What's really hard to account for, and what may be different side to side, which is a little bit spooky, is the sag factor. We're not gonna know till we get weight on it. All right, let's see what we got. We know this is the second leaf because it's all broken. If any knife makers out there want a chunk of leaf spring, holler at me. All right, I think what I'm gonna do, instead of every other, I think I'm gonna use the leaf that's in the truck, that's number 1. Skip number 2, second longest because it's broken. I'm gonna use 3, 4, 5, and the last one. So we're gonna have 5 in the truck and pull 4. Each leaf is a 1/4 inch. That should get us 1 inch of pure material drop, and I would expect at least another inch in droop. Plus we have the tire, should be close. This is the leaf pack we're gonna go with. Number 1, number 3, 4, 5, and the bottom. We've got to figure out a solution for the pin and a couple clamps, but this is the setup we're gonna replicate on the other side. For spring pins, I think I'm gonna make my own out of some bolts I have. These are actually M8. They're super long and they're grade 10.9. These are gonna be fine for application. Remember, the stove bolt in front of this thing doesn't have major axle wrapping torque. What I'm gonna do, and I've already started on this one, is chuck this in my drill and hold it against the sander in an effort to turn the head down a little bit. Here's the plan. Yeah, perfect axle locator pin. The biggest issue right now we're having is this lower axle bracket has fused itself to the U-bolts that we cut off. So we are gonna have to hammer, heat, figure out a way to get what are now studs out of here because we got to put our new U-bolts through the same place. I got it rigged up. I'm gonna try to use the vise to press it out. I think we might need heat, I'm afraid. Oh, that one's going. No heat needed. Excitement. Okay. Cheater pipe, engage. I got the other leaf pack thinned the same way as this side. We are super close to actually hanging the axle back in this thing. Try to get this rear end kind of up so I can support it on stands. Oh, that's not that bad. That would be it. Okay, now I'm gonna put a little tension on this. I'm a little bit worried at this point we took too many out. I got everything in and tight. I'm gonna leave the U-bolts long for right now, just until I'm sure I don't need to add a leaf back into it. I am going to put one of these clamps here, kind of lined up with the edge, and do the same thing on the back. I let the jack down, and at full droop, these leaves start to separate because there's actually nothing holding them together. Do that on both sides, and then I gotta dig the tire machine back out. We're gonna mount tires and connect a brake line. Outside of shocks, I think we're gonna be able to get to see this thing on its own weight today. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. They look a lot better in the hole. They go on easier. And then we're gonna take the jack and the stands out and see if we nailed it or if we're too high in one end. I did get new GM style lug nuts, but I feel like this distance for the hub to the wheel is too deep to be able to run the center cap back here. For now, we'll go no center cap. Although it would be nice to match eventually. That seems like a silly reason to run a spacer, but oh wow. Those are getting pretty flat. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh, I think it might be perfect. Wow, it looks amazing. Let me bounce on it a bit. Oh, she's soft. Oh well, I don't have any shocks. It's definitely soft, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Man, we're tucking that tire hard, but it looks pretty level. It's perfect. It's towed in a whole bunch too, but that's okay. We'll worry about that later. Well, there it is. As it sits, we took almost 5 inches out of stink bug and it looks amazing. We obviously still have a couple things to do. I need to figure out rear shock length. I would like to put the front bumper back on and we got to bleed the brakes, but otherwise this thing is down and looking so much better than before. I cannot wait to drive it, but we will both have to wait to a future episode of Tiger's Garage to see that.